I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a process for very quickly selecting the best of your photos from a shoot in Lightroom. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can process a shoot very quickly and easily. This is a folder of 458 images, and I'm going to show you how I process them to get out of this collection the images that I want to do something with. Now for me, this was a day trip to the Cotswolds. For you, it might be photographs from an event, it might be a wedding, it could be all sorts of things. So the first thing that you need to do is to isolate the images into the folder that you want to be working on them in Lightroom. And then ask yourself what you want of these images. So if you're shooting a wedding, you'll want bride and groom and guest images and bridesmaids and all sorts of things. If you're looking at travel photos, you'll want something else. I'm looking at these images because I know what I want to do with them. I have in my mind the sort of rough number of images I want from this collection of 458, and I know basically, because I shot these images, the sort of range of images that I want. So I go into this process having in mind exactly what I want to get out at the other end. Then I'll double click on the first image because I want to open it in loupe view. I want to see the whole image, and I'm going to press Shift Tab to hide absolutely everything. And I'm going to start processing these images. Now these are images I don't want to do anything with, so I'm just using the right arrow key to move past them. As soon as I see an image that I want to mark as one of the better images, I'm going to press the letter P or click down here to pick this image. And if it's one that I don't want, I'm just going to arrow past it. And so I'm going to press P only for those images that I actually want to pick. And I'm going to work pretty fast through these images. Now occasionally I will go backwards, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time at this point. So I'm going to move pretty fast through these images. If I see an image that is out of focus, dark, if I shot my foot, whatever, then I will reject that, and I can go down here and click the reject flag, or I can press the letter X. Now if as I go through I pick an image and think twice about it, I can go back to that image by using the left arrow key. I'm just picking up here that this was a flagged photo, and now I want to unflag it. I'm going to press the U key for removing the flag because I decided that it really wasn't worth it. So I'm going to move through these images really quickly, and I think with 450 of them I can generally process these in 4 to 5 minutes. I really don't want to be being too picky. If there's a chance that I'll want the image, I'll just press pick because I want to keep moving fast through these images, and I don't really want to get bogged down on the minutiae of looking at each image individually. So I'm going to pause the video at this point, and I'm going to go ahead and process these images, and when I come back I'll tell you exactly how long it took me to get through these 450 images. Just pressing the letter P for picking an image, X to reject an image, and then the right arrow key to just move past the image and go on to the next one. Now if you find that your Lightroom is not moving forward when you press the P or the X key, it's because of a setting in Lightroom, and you'll need to set it. And to do that, you click Photo and make sure that Auto Advance is enabled, because Auto Advance means that as soon as I press the letter P or X, Lightroom automatically goes forward to the next image, and it doesn't actually stop where it is. So I'm going to pause the video at this point and come back in a minute when I've gone ahead and worked through all these images. Now it's 4 minutes later, and I finished working through all these images. Having done so, I'll press Shift and then the Tab key to bring back my panels in Lightroom. The first thing I'm going to do is to get rid of the reject, so I'm going to choose Photo and then Delete Rejected Photos. Lightroom has found 7 images that I've marked for deletion. Now all of these are looking familiar to me as being choices because I remember they were out of focus. So I'm actually going to delete these images from disk so I'll never see them again. You could just remove them from Lightroom, but I'm going to click Delete from Disk. The rejected photos are now deleted, so what I'm left with is my picked and my not picked images. I want to see my picks, so I'm going to click here to filter based on a flag status. When I click here, we're filtering only the flagged images. So these are the flagged images, and there are 68 out of 451. I'm going to press Ctrl and A, so I select all 68 of those images. And now I'm going to create a collection of them. So I'll click the plus symbol here, Create Collection. I want to make sure that the selected photos are included, and I'm going to call these Cotswolds. And just click Create. Now that creates a collection with just these 68 images in them. And now I'm ready to go ahead and do my second set of processing. And for this processing step, I'm going to work through these images, and instead of flagging or rejecting them, I'm going to allocate 1, 2, or 3 stars to them. Now, your mileage may differ. You may have a different process for this, and that's fine. You may do 1 to 5, whatever it is that works for you. I just find 1, 2, or 3 is a pretty quick and easy way of allocating some sort of criteria to these images. So I'll press Shift-Tab to hide the panels. And now, based on the criteria that I want to use these images for, I'm going to give it a rating. So I'm going to give this one a 2. And this is probably a 1. This is a 2. This is a 2. This is a 2. Probably a 2 on this one, 1 on that. And I'm just going to work through these images, asking myself what I want to rate these images as, and each one of these images is going to be given a rating. And of course, this is dependent on what I want to do with the images. So I've got in the back of my mind where these images are going to end up and the kind of images that I want for the work that I'm going to be doing. And I can go forward and backwards if I want to, just to see what's coming up ahead, to see if there's anything better. And I can go backwards and just press the rating key that I want. For example, this one I had previously set at 2, didn't like that. Set it back to 1. Now I'm going to move forward. This is my 2 image, and this is a 3. And this is a 3 as well, based on what it is that I know I want to do with these images. Now this will take me practically no time at all to work through these images. And again, going back if I think I've made a mistake. And I'm not actually finding a lot of 3s. I know what's in this group because I've already seen them, and I know that I don't have anything that really rates as a 3, but for the end product that I want from these images, that's fine. 1s and 2s are just fine. And this again will take me just a few minutes, and when I'm done, that will give me the best of my images for the purpose to which I want to put them. So we have now rated these images as 1, 2, or 3 stars. There's 68 of them, and I can go ahead now and see my 2 stars. So this will give me my 2 stars and higher. There are 43 of them. And if they're the ones that I want to work with, we've now isolated the 43 images that I want to work with, and I can go back through them because they're selected here. I can go back and just double check and make sure that these are the images that I want to work with. And if there's one here that is marked as a 2-star and I don't want it to be a 2-star, then I can just make it a 1-star and it falls out of this selection. So this time, keeping an eye on what's happening along the film strip, I'm actually going to filter these images even a little bit more finely so I can ensure that I have exactly what I want for the project that I'm planning for these images. Having done this, the next step is to take the images into the Develop module. I would determine which of the images I actually wanted to do some work to, and I will go into the Develop module and start processing them. But essentially what's happened in a few minutes is I've been able to whittle this group of 450 images down to, right now I'm sitting on about 38, and probably by the end of this cycle I'm down to maybe 37 or 36 images that I actually want to process. The rest of them have just been left out. So now I would go back to my first image and go into the develop module and start working on those images. And I'll do this process fairly quickly. At this stage I don't want to be doing a lot of detailed processing. I really just want to make sure that the images are properly exposed, and my camera tends to underexpose, so I'll probably create a preset for this particular shoot. Because most of these images were taken under similar circumstances, you can probably process most of them with a preset that is going to work for most of them. So let's just see what I can do here. Maybe increase contrast a little bit, maybe a bit more black. And let's say that this is what I want as a starting point. Then I'm going to go here to the presets. I'm going to click the plus symbol, and I'm going to call this Cotswolds. For this, I don't want to set white balance and all of these, so I'm just going to do check none, and really just what I want is the basic tone and the clarity and vibrance settings. These are effectively what I've applied to those images, so I'm going to click create. Now I can go to my film strip and I can select all of the images that I took that day, bar probably this one, and there's another one that was shot indoors here. With these images now all selected, I can go to my Cotswold preset and just click to apply it to all of those images. It's a really good starting point for processing all of these images, and it means that my workflow will probably be significantly decreased because all of these images have had a general brightening and some vibrance added to them. You can see they're flowing across the film strip here as that preset is being applied to all of these images. So that's how I would process a shoot in Lightroom. I'd start in the library module and I'll go to the folder of images that I want to start working with. I'll open the folder and then work through and pick and reject those images that I want to pick and reject, and just move past the images that are just so. Then I'll delete all the rejected images. I'll take the pics and make a special collection of them, and then I'll work through that collection, allocating 1, 2, or 3 stars to each of the images. That then allows me to work with the best of my images. It allows me to very quickly get a very large number of photos down to a manageable level, where I can start processing each of the images, first of all with a global process that will fix the worst of the problems with most of the images, and then working through them one at a time to apply fixes to each of them according to what those images need. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for this video tutorial. Look out for more of my video tutorials here on my YouTube channel, and consider subscribing to my channel and you'll be alerted when new videos are released. And visit my website at projectwoman.com for more tips, tricks and tutorials on a range of applications including Lightroom, Photoshop, Illustrator and a whole lot more.